I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions. This is episode 83. Breakaway is still not established. 11 riders went off the front. It's down to 10, now down to 9 as the group weakens, still trying to break away while they're being chased down by more than half a dozen riders. Is there too much quality? Is there too many riders up there? I was definitely hoping to have more, but Helmos on his way back. McNulty is struggling and getting dropped. All this is fantastic news for us, but he doesn't get dropped yet. Samuel's in close, but look at their energy level. We're going to protect Samuels. They've sat up just a little bit, as the field has sat up just a little bit, as we're down to the 9 riders, but they're still chasing. But the good news, the really good news here, is Samuels is on a -3. If this whole group gets caught, Brandon McNulty has no chance at following the next one, and Mulebron, who sits second, can attack, along with Sammy Arab, who has a +5 today, and they are caught. And we can now turn those two into the leaders for the day. So we're going to go ahead and ride forward and attack with the pair of them, and that gives us a real shot at the King of the Mountains. Johannes Dalek, can we get him on the attack as well? Third member to join them. And easily getting off front. There's no chase at the moment of the group. So that's 3 guys. The front 6, we've got half of the guys that are there. Now front 7. Backing off a little bit, but things are looking good right now. Too many riders are attacking, though. So it's getting stronger, which means, if anything, we want somebody like De Villiers to attack. It's too little here, too late for Samuel, so he's too tired. Alright, so De Villiers makes that group, which has McNulty in it, so we absolutely will not work. Sepulveda, this is not the guys we want. This is 4th, 7th, 5th, and 1st in the KOM. Getting De Villiers up there is not helpful, but nobody else wants to work anymore. But we're already not that far from the climb, so let's go ahead and protect Mulebron, who's on a -2. Let's go ahead and get water. Cepeda. Well, that's good. Too tired. And we're already approaching the climb. Now I'm getting recovery. McNulty's working partially. Other guys are working, so they're not going to get the recovery. They were already pushing. You figure they've got to be pretty tired, and we just saw that he's definitely worse off than Samuels. Samuels is on a -3. First leg of the climb, first steep section, easing off now, heading into the next one. So the motor on 15K, 1,300 meters, 6.8% average gradient. It's only a Cat 2 at the top, but we do want Mulebron to try to go for the King of the Mountains, and Arab to follow behind. Arab is 10th in the King of the Mountains. 2.5 minute advantage for the 16 riders that are here, which means that Cepeda did get back up here. Not a big push in the group, but there are some riders working, so it's holding the gap. As long as there are some working, we're going to sit back and try to force the issue to make them do the work. And that's with just one rider protecting him, climbing. We're halfway up the climb. Now this, besides the final climb, is the big points that are available. This is where you'd want to go for it, because the last climb might not be there anymore, especially with only a 2.5 minute advantage. So this is the one where the big points are available for Mulebron. So we definitely need to keep watching McNulty. Big acceleration. 3K from the top and plenty of energy, so we're gonna try to break up the group. We've got De De Villiers, who's very punchy. Johannes Dalek, who's also very punchy, to lead these two out. I'll put Arab in front of Mollebrand to give him some protection. And here we go, group under pressure. 2K from the top, Johannes Dalek bringing us up there. Mollebrand does not have much left, but 1.5K. And McNulty's been dropped from the group. He is not going to collect points. Sepulveda also dropped. See, these guys are just too flippin' tired at this point in the race. Osorio is also about to get dropped, down to 13. But Mollebrand too far back, easing off the pace. 900 meters. Arab's okay. Mollebrand's still on us trying to attack. He's trying to collect the points. How do I get my... You gotta get top 6. Right now we are not top 6. And even if we back off, there's 6 guys. Mollebrand's not gonna get there. Arab can. Or not. Or not. He's not going to get any points. McNulty still leads. Lebert is second. Mollebrand is 11 behind. Sepulveda is still 5th. Cepeda. Samuels is 8th. Arab's only got 56 points. We are, what was it, 11 points behind? 9 on the next climb, which means we have to now see this thing succeed to the end. But there is Mollebrand still chasing to get in contact. He will. He's on a -2. He's not great to begin with, but he's the guy who's in the best position for the KOM. 30 seconds ahead of a chasing group that contains the KOM leaders, the guys we need to take points away from, but others are coming and being a bit more successful. Guess we are opening a gap to them, aren't we? And our own teammate, aren't we? Oops on that part. But we can't be letting those guys getting up here. Let's sit up. Let's sit up. Arab still has a chance at the stage today. Villiers, protect Arab. Mollebrand, not too far behind, still chasing, trying to get up there. But let's sit on. Let Simmons do the work. Get water. Wow, that's easy enough. Let's get water while that's easy enough. So very nearly in contact. Can he get up there? We could protect him if he can make contact. He's out of energy. Johannes Dalek, go. It's right there. Just help him bridge that gap. There you go. Got him up there. Okay, so Mollebrand set up. Johannes Dalek, protect. And a little recovery beginning to happen. Okay, the 4 guys, the 4 threats who aren't much of a threat today. But unfortunately, Mollebrand's like them. Not much of a threat today. They just made contact. They were 45 seconds behind. I was just saying that their gap was stretching and they weren't closing it, and then all of a sudden they're in contact. Peloton has just 45 riders. We have three in the Peloton. 57K to go. Let's go ahead and get Benina to get water. Shimway was dropped, although they'll regain contact. And Mollebrand gets dropped. Johannes Dalek, do not wait for him. Two minutes ahead of the Peloton, and a small Peloton at that, though 100 riders just off the back. Mullebron's already back into the peloton. Put him on auto. He's definitely not getting any points today. We're going to follow Samuels. Set Samuels to an 80. Don't want him to get dropped on that climb. We're down to a 12, down to 11. 5K to go to the top. Do the same thing we did before. De Villiers, gel. Down to 7. McNulty's gone. 3K, and De Villiers is about to be gone. Johannes Dalek is going to have to take over protection. And gel. Down to 6. Samuels, last guy in the peloton, with 0 energy and about to lose contact. The hope was he was going to make this climb, but 2.3 from the top, he's already out. 500 meters. Kung Sana. Points aren't going to be enough. $22K to go. Peloton 34 riders, including De Villiers, are just behind us. Johannes Dalek looks like he's going to go down. We're going to have just the 4 guys left for this thing. Arab's not looking that strong. $50, 40 seconds, 35 seconds. Hindley, Miklich attacking, catching us. Arab. Now it's a front 9. Here comes Rodriguez and Paulus and Evenepoel and Carapaz and Bardet, and Moss and Glug. No stage win, no KOM win. But the good news is the KOM threat isn't a threat any longer. But I'm just not sure that we have anyone capable. Even with a +5 Arab. In the break wasn't strong enough. And really the only sound mistake was Johannes Dalek protecting Mullebron for, what, 500 meters? And spending a little energy to recover that ground. That's the only mistake of the day. Top 9 have already crossed the line. Remco Evenepoel taking the win. Glug, it is a top 20 for Arab. Samuels has moved up into 2nd position, but he is still well down the order. 45th on the day. He's definitely going to lose a big chunk of time. It's going to drop him back down the order a bit. Pink jersey won by a comfortable margin, a minute ahead. Miklich was up there, but he did drop down the order a little bit. He was the first to attack. Arab was 7.5 minutes down. Dang, that happened really fast, and those gaps are huge. Samuel's 19 minutes behind, and that's going to change things a bit. Evenepoel 2-minute lead over Paulus. Johnson 4.5, Rodriguez 4:43, Moss 6, and then it's 10 minutes already. So realistically, Paulus the only one left who could contend with Evenepoel for this race. Glug moves up to 7th. Miklich moves up to 9th. Hindley drops to 10th. We're out of the top 20. Samuels is 22nd. KOM Evenepoel moves to the top of the standings. McNulty dropping to 2nd. So Evenepoel looks like he's going to win the race and the King of the Mountains jersey. Mullebron falling to 4th place. Probably too far behind. Samuels and Arab certainly are. So that is that. As a team, by the way, without going for GC, we still find ourselves in 7th. And that, again, points to the fact that, where we should be is hours, tens of hours behind. We find ourselves an hour and a half down. It's not good, right? There's really only the top 5 that have been fairly competitive, and then there's definitely a big drop off. But we're in the second tier group, and it really hasn't been as bad as it feels. Our hopes of a stage win are not over yet. Our hopes of the King of the Mountains jersey is not over yet. And our hopes of a decent finish for Samuels, and at least scoring some points, it's not over yet. I've managed to get 5 riders into a breakaway of 20. Our breakaway has a 5.5 minute advantage over the peloton. This big climb is going to be the decisive moment, though. If we can still have the majority of our team here in this group, if we can still have 3 or 4 guys over the top of the first climb, with or without the KOM points, we've got a real shot at something, because with a descent, short climbs on the final 2, there's a definite chance. And if we still have a roughly 5.5 minute advantage over the peloton by the time we reach the top of this one, or even greater, then the stage looks like it could be a real chance, real shot. Down to 17 in the group, 3 riders out the back. Of course, all the usual suspects are here, but are Inni, Stuyven, Simmons, no, those guys that have been dropped already are not threats in the King of the Mountains, so the others are hanging on for the time being. But all 5 of our guys are pretty flippin' tired already. Mulebron does have a +2 today, as does the Shimway, but Samuel's another -3. Arab's -1 might as well be a -4 with his fitness level, and De Villiers on a 0 means it's not looking great for our chances at anything, but there's a chance, so at least we do have that. Still 17K to go on this 25-kilometer climb. Rider getting dropped. Van Hecke out the back. He's not a threat to anything, though. Sepulveda looks like he's about to get dropped, but he is hanging on for now. De Villiers is about to get dropped. Sammy Arab just got dropped. De Villiers loses contact. Is the Shimway our best hope now today? He might be. Yeah, -7 stamina for Samuels. 12K. Mulebron's hanging on, but not doing well. But they have definitely sat up a bit. Peloton, meanwhile, 3.5 minute gap. We're going to get a little break here just for a moment. Savoie has been dropped. He's a puncher, like Mulebron. Sepulveda is out. Tisfazian is out. Samuels is out. And one rider has gone clear. Tim Clerk. He's only at 76 mountain. Though base-wise, the Shimway is weaker than him. 3.9K to the top. Shimway is 19th with 24 points. There's 120 points available today. Evenepoel 128, McNulty now 104. We're not even in the top 10 yet, though, with those points. What did we get for second? 18 points for a Shimway on that one. That gives him 42. With 80 points still available, he can maybe just make it. It's now just thinking about the stage, really. The other guy's working. Andrade, Rika, Ethan Hayter. That's going to be tough. And now we've caught Clerk. Group of 6. Samuel's fourth group, 3.5 minutes back. Peloton is just half a minute behind him. Mulebron's in the Peloton. Everybody else is long gone from the Peloton. I have no idea how many are in the Peloton, but it looks like it's not very many. That first climb was the decisive one today. The rest becomes a little bit easier. Sitting on for a Shimway and he's still recovering where others are contributing. That's going to give us a little bit of a chance on this thing. But right off the bat, Clerc again attacking. But we're back with the front riders where Clerc is the only one working. Now he's getting a little support. McNulty and Andrade. 5K from the summit. Acceleration. Gravel. Oh, construction. Nice. But that's everybody attacking us because we're not contributing. We're going to have to contribute. Losing contact there. I have to set our tempo. They don't want us in the group, so this is tricky. It's like you want to be in the group, you don't want to get dropped, but we also need to... that burned up the energy. Staying in contact for now. Definitely not going to get the points over the top, but can we still be there? Wonder if he's picking up anywhere near enough points to do something. The Shimway is definitely not doing enough. How are we at descending? Pretty good.
Watch out, a team leader is falling behind.
But we're a minute behind, and they're all back together. But we're 3 minutes ahead of the peloton. Still 2 riders in no man's land. Mulebron, the last one in the peloton. The peloton just 34 riders. So a total of 8 off the front. Now just a minute ahead of the peloton. Wow, how did that happen? Didn't I just have 3 minutes ahead? Mulebron was in the peloton. He's still the 3 minutes behind. Those guys gained a ton of ground on that little flat section. Let's get some water. 10K. .48 seconds ahead of the peloton. They're definitely coming towards me, but we're trying to measure our effort on what we can do. 5K to go. I don't think we can really push harder than the pace we're setting. For now, we stay ahead of the peloton, but we're 3 minutes behind that front group. They went hard. 4K to go. And there's all their activity as they go clear and a Shimway gets dropped. Ethan Hayter takes the win. Clerc. McNulty got 4th on the day. Did that get him enough points? Venable was 6th. I'm not sure if he caught up to him or not. Shimway 31st. Samuels is well down, so no KOM, no stage victory, and maybe not even a top 25. We'll have some points from this race, but it's not much. The 3 top 5s will have picked up a few points. Samuels will still be around 25th, maybe better, maybe a little worse, 46th today, but 25th is still worth a decent amount of points, 10, 15, 20 points, maybe 30 points. It's not much, but something. Overall, the race, absolutely a failure, but at the same time, that's the reality of a team at our level, and that's the reality of not coming in with fitness peaks and objectives and being prepared for a Grand Tour. That's the byproduct of that. And that, of course, is my mistake. And while some have given grief for that, most understand that this is just feeling out the game. Now, on easier difficulty, that stuff's usually much easier to overcome. But on the hardest difficulty, there is no room for error. You have to be at your best to beat the best. Or you have to have riders that are among the best. Because you could absolutely overcome a deficit, an attribute deficit, but not a significant one. And this is a significant one. Our best rider is a 78 mountain. They've got guys that are 81 mountain base, 82 mountain base. Then add the +4 for the difficulty, and then those race day condition bonuses, which we clearly didn't have, and you're looking at easily 10-point deficits almost daily. And when we start pulling negatives the last half of the race because of the fatigue part adding in, then we're looking at 12, 13-point attribute deficits on a daily basis. No wonder that even with stacking the deck and bringing 4, 5, 6 guys into the break, we still couldn't do anything. The good thing is what happens when we get to the tour and we do have the race day condition bonus and we do get 4, 5, 6 guys in the break. I like our odds a lot better if there's a whole bunch of green and guys that are all sitting on +3s and 4s instead of -3s and -1s and -2s for the most part. It could go much better for us. And climbing wise, we only brought a few climbers to this race, so 3: Arab, Mason Samuels, and Ashimwe. Evenepoel will win the overall, the stage 21 time trial. I doubt he's going to lose 2:18 when he's 84 time trial. Rodriguez moves on to the podium for now. Johannesson, that's going to be a close fight for third. Gall moved up to 12th. Theo Jorgensen dropped down. Samuels only lost one position, however, does very much have a three-way battle for 22nd with Filippo Zana and Ikan Bernal. Bernal, 70 time trial. Zana, 59 time trial. Samuels is a 63 and expected to have a negative race day condition. So Bernal is a minute 20 behind. We could be right in the position we're in now, maybe flipping. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened. Meanwhile, Frigo, who's also a decent time trialist, might not be out of it just yet either. Points, Philipsen has claimed victory there comfortably. Evenepoel hangs on to the King of the Mountains, 10 points over McNulty. Clark takes third. Weber Molebrand was 5th. Samuels was 10th. Young riders, Miklich, 42 minutes ahead of Samuels. Shimway was 5th. And the team standings, we drop a spot to 8th. One time trial to go. Final stage, and Clout did fairly well setting off for us, but he only had a 71 time trial. 3.5 minutes down, though, on a 71 time trial. So we're looking at pretty healthy gaps today. Banuna, who normally has a good time trial rating, had a -5 race day condition. He's carrying quite a bit of fatigue here at the end, contributing towards that. So he was worse than Clout. De Villiers, who's just a poor time trialist, came in a further 2 minutes down than those guys. We're looking at really healthy gaps, as Arab is another one who would normally be good, but is not cutting it today. I think we'll set him down a little bit at a 78. Molebrand has a +5, but he's only a 63 time trialist. Attacking for the finish line. 48th, 3:30 down for him. Anastalic's time was definitely better. Molebrand just isn't a good enough time trialist that even the 78 he's struggling through. Samuels will set off fairly soon. And that'll be our last rider for this mostly forgettable Giro. Molebrand, final push for him. 4:40. Samuels, -1-ish race day condition. Yes. Shimway was already 3 minutes down before we ever got to the finish line. Second check, 4.5 in the end. Samuels, a 78, is seeing him go really deep. We have to back off, and he's slow already. He was 2.5 minutes down, 137th. Is he literally the worst time trialist in this field? It's feeling that way. 5 minutes down, 132nd. And he's not even going to make the end. 3K from the end, 2K from the end. He is running on fumes. 7:13 down, 137th position. I'm wondering if he is literally the last place rider in this field. Can't be far from it. Kung currently leads. The favorite will be the last rider across the line. Will he win the stage and the pink jersey? Remco Evenepoel does by 11 seconds. 156th for Mason Samuels on that stage. Hannes Dalek finished 20th in the end. GC, we'll look at that first. Samuels drops to 25th. So he does. He went to the very back of the group of 4, with Frigo, Bernal, Zana, and Samuels both dropping down, and we were well behind. And that ended up putting us over an hour down on the race lead. Philipsen, Evenepoel, Miklich, Samuels keeps second. and we keep 8th. Let's go back to the stage results for a second. And just how far down was Samuels? Not last, but not far from it. 156th out of 166 riders. Just saw an email. Sepp Kuss is going to retire here at the end of the season. 34-year-old. Still quality. Now Grand Tour winner in real life. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for this race. Let's see how bad the points are as we proceed today. Amazingly, we are still on top of the team rankings. Philipsen, Evenepoel in a 1-2 status. The Belgians leading the way. BMB. Belgian team is second. That's Evenepoel's team, so they have jumped Le Gruppetto to get to second, or at least I think they have. Maybe not. We're still in the month. There would have been a change. No, they were second already. La Gruppetto are also highly ranked. They've both made a huge jump at the tour. Evenepoel picked up 2,000 points. This doesn't seem to have updated. Evenepoel's just showing 659. Less than ideal. It's good to see. A humbling experience such as that, just to know how important. Because there's more than one type of PCM player out there. There are players who play on beginner level and struggle with the game. There is a learning curve here. The game is not easy when you're starting out. Most people play on the normal difficulty, and most do just fine. Get to a point where I was 4 years ago. It was 5. Last time I played on normal difficulty. Get to a point where you dominate normal difficulty. In fact, perfect example here to my left. I had the sprinter, Jasper Philipsen, who at the time was, it's 29 here. He's 31, about 24. He was 19, 20, just starting to come up in the ranks, and I brought him onto my team. Philipsen won 90% of the races he was in. The last year that I had normal difficulty, Philipsen won 90% of the sprints. I lost 1 out of 10. Absolutely dominated. And that was a team that was mid-level World Tour, quality-wise. I think we won 2 out of 3 Grand Tours, like back-to-back years with the same rider. Didn't quite have a second guy. We were playing on a budget, so we had limited resources. Dominated sprints, dominated punchy events, dominated Grand Tours when we had our leadership, and just won and won and won. And there's a lot of players that are out there at that level. Extreme difficulties is a very different animal. It's tough, and it's made all the tougher with a scenario such as this, where we have 0 Philipsens, we have 0 Evenepoels, we have 0 Gregoires. Our best guy is probably 80th best, 100th best out there. We are barely Continental Pro level. And yet, we are competing against the World Tour guys with a team that's at the bottom of Continental Pro. We should expect more than what we got out of the Giro. Because there's a reason why we're number 1. So there's a reason why we are number 1, and we can do more, and I expect more, and you expect more, and that's totally fine. But we punch so far above our weight, We'll be okay. And that's the point. We are doing it extremely well overall. But if we don't set it up just right, you don't get all those puzzle pieces interlocked perfectly, or at least really well, our house of cards comes tumbling down. And that's the humbling thing of what just happened. But that's also the reality of trying to play on the difficulty level with a team that's not there. So building this Continental build is so much harder than the one I ran last year. Like, if you saw last year's, we made progress. I was not the only one scoring points. Asia scored points otherwise, but I was tearing it up. We were getting points for races that we've won many times here. They changed their algorithm, they changed their rules, they changed the coding regarding how a nation builds this year. I've done better than what I did in last year's game with weaker riders. I've done more with less. And yet, we're not getting the progress. And that's because of how they changed it. And because of that, really finding it tough to go forward. It's our first year on a World Tour calendar. We're in position to get back to a World Tour calendar again in a coming season. We're likely to be able to hang on to our guys. So we'll be fine. Our first Grand Tour, one to forget. But our next Grand Tour, looking forward to it. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.